So let's pick it up again right here. All right, so let's try this one. So x squared minus 4 over 2 minus x. So try that one. So do you see that we need to do the turnaround? Which top or bottom needs to be turned around? The bottom has the x at the back. We don't like the letters at the back. So turn that one around and put a minus 1 in the front, right? Uh-oh, Melody, it doesn't look like it's sending it. Sorry.
It's okay. We'll be hanging out with Roberto.
Maybe I just need to clear the memory.
Are we going to have a break before the test?
Yeah, we'll take a little break before we do the practice exam. Yeah, I wanted to finish. We're almost done with this section, so we can definitely take a break when we're done with this section. We got to finish 6.4 as well. I thought we'd get to 6.5. I'm always dreaming about how fast we're going to go. All right, so the bottom needs to be turned around, right? Because we have x at the back. We don't like x at the back. So we turn it around and put a minus 1 in the front. Does that make sense? Whenever x is subtracted. By the way, if that was added, you can just flip it around all day. You know the order in which you add. Think about 7 and 3. Is that different than 3 and 7? No, it's 10 either way. If it was added, who cares, right? This is only about subtraction. If you're added, it makes no difference at all when you flip the order, right? But if they're subtracted, that does matter. You can flip it, but you got to fix it with a minus 1 in the front, right? So, so if it's got a minus... If it's subtracted with x at the back, we turn it around, put a minus 1 in the front. Now, the top is an FL, isn't it? Right? So 2 parentheses, front times front. What times what makes 4? 2 and 2. How do you make negative 4? 1 positive, 1 negative. Good? And now they match. Oh, this one's going to have an extra trick. So we good to there so far. Good. Now, what does that leave us? Well, x plus 2. Don't need the parentheses anymore. There's nothing to separate the x plus 2 from anymore. It's x plus 2 over negative 1. Good to there. Now, what do we do from there?
Leave it alone.
It'd be nice, wouldn't it?
That's what I came out with.
Yeah. Problem is, it's not going to look like that on the multiple choice test.
It won't take it in math Excel.
And it won't take it in math Excel. Why not? What's its problem? We never leave 1s on the bottom. Remember, we never leave 1s on the bottom? Okay, but it's a negative 1. Right. So do this. It's not that hard, but you have to do one more step. You can't leave 1s on. Just put that, minus 1 is under both of them, really, right? So I think, right, that's the same thing, right? Just put it under both. Now, you know what this is. Anything over 1, the 1 just vanishes other than the sign. You just have to pay attention to the sign. What is positive over negative? Negative x. What is positive over negative? Negative 2. There it is. See, that 1 in the bottom vanishes, right? We never leave 1s on the bottom. But the negative underneath both makes them both negative. The 1 vanishes, though, right? We never leave 1s on the bottom. You with me? Like, what would 7 over 1 be? It's just 7, huh? 1s in the bottom always leave. Because it just divides in. You with me on that? Do you know what I mean? 1 just goes into 7 times, doesn't it? Alex?
It still wants the parenthesis outside, the minus sign outside the parenthesis.
No. So it would either be this way or that way. If you put the parentheses, you got to put plus. Both these are correct.
That's what math Excel.
It'll take either one of those.
It will?
Yeah, you want to go ask for a new one on that one? Yeah, or I can type it in that way. Well, yeah, both those are correct because those are the same thing. Do you realize?
So even if we didn't separate them, it's still dividing into the top.
Right.
As if we would any other problem, which would still be both negative, right?
Say it one more time on that, Rachel.
Even if we divide, say we left it that way and we just divided it to the top number, it would still give them both a negative.
Yeah, right. It's dividing this, dividing that. So it's making them both negative. Yeah, it's just dividing both, making them both negative. Exactly. You got it right on the money. Does that make sense? That minus 1 is just dividing both, making both negative. And the 1's not needed on the bottom. Yeah, so whenever you have a 1 on the bottom, that's never going to stay. And if it's a minus, it just makes them, it just divides both by negative, huh? On that.
So the answer is x over negative 1?
No, the answer is what I've circled.
Okay. Can you tell I don't get it entirely?
So all that's happening is that minus 1 is just dividing that and dividing that.
Okay.
And then the 1 vanishes. But positive over negative is negative.
Okay.
And positive over negative is negative. It just makes them both negative.
Okay.
And then the 1 vanishes. Now, 1s in the bottom never do anything, right?
Okay.
But the fact that it's a negative 1 means it changes both the signs. That's all that matters. Really, it's just the negative on the bottom that does anything. Is that good like that? All right. So there's number 12. Try that one. X squared plus 2x. So that which part needs to be turned around? The bottom, right? Because x is subtracted at the back. So turn around that bottom. Good like that. So turn around that bottom. And then factor that top. With the 2 parentheses, right? And the multiply, add. X is in the front. What times what makes 48? 6 and 8, 8 and 6. Okay, now the sign in the middle goes on the bigger. Plus 8 minus 6 makes makes plus 2 in the middle and multiplies to be negative 48. Everybody good to there? So if you can finish it from there. Now it's ready to cancel. We've got the horses are contained, right? So cancel, and then can't leave that minus 1 on the bottom. Yeah. Right, cancel these. Get to there. And then what? We never leave a 1 on the bottom. It just divides them both, right? But really it's the minus that divides them both. So we get minus x minus 8. Does that make sense? Just makes them both negative? Rachel, you like that now? Is that good?
Now I do, yes.
Good deal.
Now I won't leave it like x plus 8. Negative 1.
Good. Make sense? Are you comfortable? All right, we're almost done with this. One will be left on the top this time. And so minus is on the top, we could just leave it. You know, it's fine. So x squared plus 2x minus 8. All right, so where does the turnaround need to be done? This time on the top. The x is subtracted at the back on the top.
Can you have negative slices of pie?
You can lose pi.
You can lose pie.
Yeah, negative, right? You gain or lose. I gained a pi, and then I gave away a pi. I lost a pi.
Yeah.
Plus and minus, yeah. Used to be in the olden days, the people, when first came, way back, 1300, whatever, they didn't believe negatives were real, It seems funny to us now, like we have negative temperatures in Minnesota in the winter. We have negative bank accounts. I think I've experienced that. And, so there was a time when negatives weren't believed to be real. So they would say, like, what is this negative fraction? It's not real. So anyway, but now we know, that can happen. All right, x is in the front. What multiplies to be 8 and adds to be 2? What times what is 8? 4 and 2. Sign in the middle, sign on the bigger. Good to there. These cancel. So what do we have? Minus 1 over x plus 4. And that's just it. You don't need, because ones on the top just stay, don't they? Everybody okay with that? Ones on the bottom, we don't leave them. That makes it, you might wonder, well, why? Well, because 1/6, there's nothing you can do with that. That's just 1/6. But 6 over 1, that's just 6. Right? Why? Because the bottom divides into the top. Right? 6 can't go into 1, so it just stays. But 1 can go into 6 times. So 1s in the bottom, we never leave. Never leave 1s in the denom. Never leave 1s in the denominator, huh?
We won't have that like that on the test, though, will we?
Like what?
6 over 1.
Well, no, it'll just, that's what happened in the last problem. Right? See, we had a 1 in the bottom, and some people might want to stop here, but we can't.
Okay.
Yeah, we can't stop when we have 1 in the bottom. Got to keep going. Yeah, they won't start this way, but we might get there halfway through and think we can stop. But we can't stop. Yeah, so I'm saying you can't stop when you have 1 in the bottom. You got to keep going. You never leave a 1 in the bottom. But you can stop when you have 1 in the top. That's totally fine.
If you stop with that negative 1 in the bottom, you're going to be picking E.
Right, you'll pick none of the above, and that's not right. Yeah, that's right. Now, what if they put the minus in the front like that? Is that okay? Same thing. I'll just say or. Both are good, right? Minus in the top, front, bottom, it's all the same thing, right? It's all good. Good. All right, we have finished. What was that? 6.3. Why don't we take our break, huh? Come back. We do need to finish 6.4 before we take our practice then, but I think we'll be okay.